Guys, what's up? My name's Swords, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about how positioning and patience can win you more games along with winning more fights. Every single one of you listening right now has it in you to win more games, and I know that you know it too. So let's try to nudge you even closer in the right direction so you're a bit more successful in your matches. I'm going to talk about a couple different approaches you can take so we can get you in the right mindset. And if you can help me out, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps this video out. So thank you for anyone that does that. I've also got one of the most positive and chill communities for Apex. So join the Discord if you want to be a part of that. And actually work together to do things like this. Now let's get into the video. Why is positioning important? Positioning offers your team advantage to almost every type of engagement and keeps your team comfortable while making enemy teams with less effective positioning struggle to the point where they take uncomfortable or risky choices. Being in the right place at the right time is the difference between winning and losing a fight. Even a good player can be swept up if you have the better position. Think of it from your enemy's perspective. They want to put themselves at a good position so that they can take a clean shot at you to open up an opportunity for their team to push up. However, holding a dominant position and suppressing that player down can put them in a bad situation. I'm sure a good amount of you have found yourselves in that disadvantageous position and were forced to retreat back to cover to heal up and try again. Even if a player that's mechanically more skilled than you pushes up on you while you're in the dominant position, you can still win. Those players can still lose the fight due to being more exposed than you. Another reason why it's important is because better positioning gives you advantage from the jump of a fight and better prepares you for a third party. If you're fighting on top of a building or hill, which team's going to be an easier target? Your team on the hill or your team down on the ground? So, why is patience important? Sometimes every engagement is a threat, and during those situations, W-keying forward right into the battle isn't always going to do it for you, but patience will. Patience can be a matter of seconds to a moment, and it varies, but waiting as long as it is necessary within a spot to heal up, get loot, set up defenses, or appropriately keep your distance from a fight may just be what you need to make it to the next ring or win the next fight. A majority of players prefer to rush forward to every fight without too much thought, but when you give yourself the time to think about when the right time to push a fight is, you may find more success. Even if a better player rushes you, as long as you're prepared, you still have the chance to win that fight despite the skill gap. Patience doesn't always mean camping either. It's just an understanding that the best approach hasn't clearly opened itself yet. Because sometimes you don't have the luxury of picking your battles. Your battles may end up finding you. Handling those situations is going to be a tricky thing, which is why patience can be what you need to come out on top. So let's talk about some ways you can use positioning and patience to your advantage. To start off, if you're not doing it already, regroup with your team when you're called out of position. Now I know y'all like to get right in the middle of battle and kill everyone, which is awesome stuff. But sometimes during your aggressive play, you may unknowingly distance yourself from your team and you may find yourself in a bad position getting shot at by another team. Instead of holding your position at a disadvantage, consider regrouping with your team rather than holding a position at a disadvantage. Regrouping with your team is going to make you stronger together and make it more difficult for your enemies to engage on you when they find an opening. This happens to me all the time. I'm having a really good game, squad wiping teams, using my favorite guns, and then somehow I end up at 1 HP hugging a tiny slope for cover all by myself. In those situations, regrouping with your team is going to be a good reset for you to take on the next fight or situation. That way, you and your team are in a better position. Speaking of position, how do you get to the better position? This has to do with a multitude of elements, but mainly you're going to want to note the map geometry, amount of squads remaining, the current zone, and the next ring location. Using all that info, you're going to want to figure out where the best likely spot for your team is depending on your situation, and then you have to get there first. This doesn't always mean running to some location in the middle of the map and then camping there for a majority of the game. This can also mean taking the better position before you initiate a fight with the enemy. The best time to do this is when the enemy team's unaware of your presence or if you're far away enough from them. Once you take that spot, they are now at a disadvantage and must respect your position or they risk getting bodied. Take advantage of jump pads, zip lines, or Horizons Tactical to take a good position over your enemies for easy access, and with a little patience, holding that spot is going to likely find you success. So how does patience exactly win fights? Well, it opens up opportunities. Most players will take the opportunities presented to them within a situation and go for it, but a patient player will wait for the best opportunity to present itself and then capitalize on it. Those players take the easiest fights by attacking at the perfect moment when the enemy is at their lowest. The thing is, a majority of most other players overplay their hand and are impatient. Even good players can be a little impatient. I'm talking about the players that think they can take on 2 teams at once, that try to force themselves into a fight without any opportunities. Playing on another player's impatience can be how you beat most players that are better than you. Really, you want to give yourself and your team however much necessary time to take whatever actions you need in a situation when you have the luxury of time. That even includes disengaging from fights not in your favor. All too often do I see teams struggling to fight the enemy at a disadvantage at low HP, when the option to disengage and come back around is always there. You're definitely going to want to take advantage of your map so you can find other opportunities of engagement to push those teams at a better angle so you can fight them on your terms. The earlier you disengage from a bad fight, usually those fights at range, the better opportunity you have in flanking those teams. Try looking at your map like a game board. Think about where teams are at and where other teams could potentially be, as well as opportunities of where you can flank other teams at. The craziest thing is that positioning and patience can help you defeat better teams. Remember how I said earlier that most players are impatient? Well, sometimes good players are too. So if there's ever a game where you know that there's a really strong team nearby, maybe you just escape them, keep them at the back of your head, and wait for an opportunity to third party them or catch them by surprise. I like to use weaker teams as chess pieces for this. Sometimes, against that stronger team, I want them to start fighting against other players so that by the time when my team comes around, I'll hit them at a point where they're low, and I can get an easy damage. Think of it as using the weaker fish to take down the bigger fish. But the real gem behind what I'm saying is that while you take these ideas into your public games, you'll actually see much better results playing with these ideas in mind for your ranked games. That is because in ranked, especially the higher tiers, you're not always going to be able to have every opportunity available. You just might have to wait for the opportunity to come to you. I wanted to make this video because a lot of you have been asking me how to make better decisions before, during, and after fights. So I wanted to help you get my kind of thinking before I jump into fights. It may not be about which fight to jump into, but when to jump into that fight. I may not be able to train your muscle memory for you guys to get better accuracy, but what I can do is help you guys become better tactical players and approach situations from a better perspective. To be a really strong player, you need to understand your own weaknesses so that you can capitalize on your strengths. Just y'all watch, I'm gonna have y'all making 5-head plays in no time. If you enjoyed the chill commentary, stop by my stream. I literally talk all the time like this, but more importantly, I talk directly to you guys, which is what it's all about. So stop by my stream, it's low-key and the chillest place on Twitch. I really want to do it full-time, so give me a chance and check me out. With that being said, try being a little bit more patient so you can find that crazy good position to win more games. Here is the featured comment for this video. If you want your comment featured in one of my videos, say something positive and supportive to someone else in the comments below. With that being said, have a chill day and get some dubs. Take it easy, and peace out.